All right, let's talk about Texas. I confess I'm not that interested in this story because Texas will eventually redistrict, and these blue states probably won't. So all this sort of fake drama about will the Democratic legislators be able to stop Texas from doing it? No, eventually they'll do it. Will the blue states follow suit and offset? No, they probably won't. Because like in New York, which is a lot of discussion today because of Kathy Hochul hosting some of these, they'd need to pass a constitutional amendment to do this. Now, could they? They might, but I doubt it. I doubt it. So here is Washington Post headline number 4. Texas governor followed through on what he said he would do. He issued warrants for civil arrests for the fleeing Democrats. Again, they're eventually going to go home because their families are at home. But for now, I don't think we're seeing Texas, what do you call them? Texas Rangers flying into O'Hare. Here is, this guy, James Tallarico, is a Texas representative who went on Joe Rogan, and he's been on a bunch of other stuff. He is like Beto O'Rourke on steroids. They're just being seen as the future of not just the Democratic Party in Texas, but nationally. Here he is in an interview earlier today. I think an interview number 7, please.
We're breaking quorum now because this is different. Trump has asked those same Texas Republicans to redraw the Texas maps to get him 5 more seats. They're doing it in the middle of the decade. This is like 2 teams coming out of the locker room at halftime of a football game, and the team that's ahead saying they want to change the rules in the second half to make sure they win. It's cheating, plain and simple. And if they're going to cheat, we're not going to play.
All right. So, Matt, where do you think this story is headed?
Oh, we are prepared very, very clearly to go as far as we can with this. Look, I'll say on one thing. Tallarico, if he's smart, needs to use this to boost his Senate bid, right? Like, this is prime time for him. If he doesn't use this, like he seems to be, raise money, get name ID, he's stupid. Number 1. Number 2, look, I think our party has flashbacks, again, not to bring 2018 back into this, but I was at the NRCC, and 6 months before Election Day, the Supreme Court in the state of Pennsylvania, 6 months before Election Day, changed the map entirely based on a state Supreme Court ruling. And we lost, several Republican seats, several. And, you look at that, how the Republicans in Texas get the same percentage of the vote statewide that Illinois Democrats get, and our proportions aren't even close to what Illinois Democrats are. Maryland, I can go on and on. So I think what we view as simply the fact that, it's high time that Democrats got what was coming to them on the redistricting front, and they've been playing this game for years. Mark Elias, who, speaking of the Clinton dossier and Russiagate and others, have been playing this game at a very different level than we have. And I think that we are ready to do what we need to do to make sure that there's a fair play or a fair playing field to what the Democrats have been doing for the last 5-10 years.
Yeah. Brian, I don't like to turn every story into a media bias story, but Matt is right. The press covers aggressive Democratic redistricting, either not at all or smart or business as usual, and they cover Republican aggressive redistricting as some sort of sham. Here is the Democratic governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, talking about her support for Democratic efforts to fight what's happening in Texas, and then we'll get Brian's reaction. Play that, please, number 8.
I thank them so much for making this journey. You are on the right side of history. And you're not alone. Thank you. We are in solidarity with each and every one of you and your colleagues in another state hosted by my great friend, J.B. Pritzker, who welcome you as well. As I said, history will judge us on how we respond to this moment. But here in New York, we will not stand on the sidelines with the timid souls on the sidelines who don't care, will not invest their heart and soul into this battle. This is a war. We are at war. And that's why the gloves are off, and I say.
Brian, how would you appraise your party's efforts to fight what's going on in Texas?
Well, she said the gloves are off. This is outrageous, was finishing that sentence, by the way. To Matt's point, look, I'm in California. I'm going to have a progressive view today. I just want to put that out there. I'm going to be hardcore about it. We have a specific date and time, a period of time that we do on the decade redistricting. That is just a fact of the matter. And quite frankly, I'm just going to say it. Democrats have sucked at it before. And just because that we've got aggressive in the last one and got our shit together, it really changed the way Democrats started playing offense with regards to playing redistricting and what that was about. Historically, we have been awful at redistricting and being organized for redistricting. And in the 2020 timeframe, that changed. Whatever you want to bring in Mark Elias or anybody else into the process and everything, yes, it was an orchestrated way to go about the organization of redistricting. This with Texas and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if it spreads to Florida, spreads to other. I mean, DeSantis was already talking about it. There are other states, in particular, that are red states that could go about doing this. But I think Democrats could then do it just on the flip side of that. Quite frankly, in New York, you could run the table in New York and pass, Democratic redistricting right now. You could do the same thing. And by the way, those seats in New York to win the current midterm that we have, those seats in New York and the seats here in California, by the way, can tilt a majority.
Yeah.
So if they want to play that, play that. But I would say don't, focus on the decade redistricting. That's when we have it. That's when we can go about doing this. But if you're gonna play this game now, yes, Democrats are going to get organized.
I'm glad actually you brought up New York because I forgot to mention New York. They tried that in 2022 as well. And the legislature tried to draw new maps in New York. They would have thrown out, say, Nicole Maliotakis, I think maybe Claudia Tenney upstate, one or something like that. And the courts thankfully threw that out as well. So it's funny, again, Illinois and New York, the two places they go are either the scene of the worst completed gerrymandering and then an attempt just a couple of years ago to get it done.
Yeah. Brian, again, I just say, I get the talking point. Mid decade is like somehow worse than otherwise, but isn't this all just hardball, like redistricting power? If you control it, you do it. As Matt said, Maryland, Illinois, Democrats have been pretty tough in those states. What does it matter if it's mid?
Listen, 100%. I'm just saying that both parties could stand to be able to recognize when we should be doing this, and redistricting shouldn't be an every 2-year process. And Democrats do it fairly. Democrats do it and Republicans do it. But you just can't sit back if one party acts that way. You can't sit back and be able to say, like, hands up and, we're not going to participate. So unfortunately, and Matt, great point, by the way. Unfortunately, this is where we are. We're in this back and forth tug of war, that now takes place every 2 years, not every 10 years, 2 years.
Yeah. Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip, and you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.